Hey everybody, I'm Don Ferguson and welcome back to another badass episode of Something New in the Teak Life Basement Bar. Alright, what are we trying on this episode? We're going back to Bardstown, Kentucky, my friends, and we are trying Bardstown Bourbon Company's Discovery Series. Now if you remember, this brand is no stranger to the Teak Life platform because we tried their Fusion Series before. Now before we get into the tasting, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on so you don't miss any future tasting episodes. Alright, damn it, that's more than enough talking. Let me find a glass, crack this bad boy open, and get to tasting. Let's roll that intro. Welcome. You know the deal. Before we taste, we talk. Bardstown Bourbon Company is no stranger to the Teak Life platform like we talked about before. So we tried their Fusion Series number 2. If you haven't watched that episode, should be a link right there. It's a hint. Today, Discovery Series number 2. It's a cask strength bourbon. Oh, this is exciting. You ready? 122 proof, my friend. Woo, this is gonna make me grow hair again. I like it. No, wait a minute. Then I gotta buy shampoo. Scratch it. It's a blend of three different Kentucky bourbons, and it's non-chill filtered. They don't tell us where the Kentucky bourbons are sourced from, but if you do a little research on this thing I call Google, you might be able to find out. Is that a wild turkey? Let's get into the good stuff. The mash bill. This is where it gets really interesting because it is from 3 different Kentucky bourbons. First one is 44% of a 10-year aged Kentucky bourbon that consists of 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. The second blend is 39% from a Kentucky bourbon that's aged 12 years, which is comprised of 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. Last but not least, 17% of this bad boy comes from a 14-year aged Kentucky bourbon, which is 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley. Am I drooling? Do I need a napkin? It's time to taste. Oh, that was a loud pop. We are going to pour and we are going to let this breathe. This is 122 proof of exuberance just waiting to billow out and enter my realm, which is my palate. So they have a bottleneck tag, and there's something that I want to read because I think it really defines what the Bardstown Bourbon Company is all about. We are a new blend of bourbon makers pushing the boundaries through innovation while honoring the traditional art of making whiskey. And they are doing some really, really crazy and incredible things with these blends. And they're partnering with some other brands, other companies out there, which is super ridiculous, but fun and cool. And that's what the liquor industry is really all about. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don, I watch the program all the time, and I never see you do the swirl. I'm doing the Kentucky swirl, the bourbon bop. Okay, I just made that shit up. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm aerating it. I'm allowing it to open because it's a cask strength. So it is very strong. It's going to be high proof. So I'm letting it open up and breathe so that way I can get a lot more of those flavors. I like something to sit about a good 5 to 10 minutes before I really drink. Now this is one that you can do a couple of droplets of water to tone it down, but I don't do that shit. I drink it raw. I like to go in raw. We're going to set it there. Did some swirl. We're still going to let it breathe. And I am getting a lot of those aromas in the air. It's definitely a bourbon whiskey. There's no doubt about it. But let's jump into, as we always do, bottle. The bottle is pretty much the same as the Fusion series. But instead of the molecular dots that the Fusion had, because it's a Fusion, it's science, this one actually has corn stalks on the back of it. Let's go in for the color. And I mean, I got the light shining in. It's like a bronze metal. This is a beautiful hue of brown. I would say it's like a deep, rich. Oh, this is really nice. Really classy. Classy San Diego. Woo! You know what? I'm really surprised. It is very well balanced. I mean, for a high proof cask, man, I can't even talk. I'm so excited. Cask strength bourbon, it's not overpowering on those alcohol vapors. And let's see. Ooh, these, man, the tears are slowly coming down. It's like when you're trying to get your kids to go to grandma's house, or trying to get them to, you know, give grandma a kiss. It's very slow, just like this. But wow, you're getting some aged oak, some like brown sugar, some cinnamon. I'm really picking up that barrel a lot. Now it is potent. I'm not gonna lie. It's got some classic bourbon notes. There is also some dried citrus in here, which I'm picking up. Butterscotch, caramel. This is really nice. This is really nice, and I'm super surprised of it being a high proof that it's just not more of those it doesn't have more of those alcohol vapors. I'm really shocked. All right, couple last swirls to open it. Let's go in. Coated the palate. You got to take this one easy, really easy. It is definitely got some heat on it, so it is not like it's not a flamethrower, but it might be a culinary torch. It does have some heat, but what surprised me is the sweetness. So if you like a sweet heat in your bourbon whiskey, so far this has got everything tingling. Now, I'm trying to take it easy. I'm not doing my gulps like before, because I understand, and I'm really trying to get the flavors. That's what I'm going for. Wow. Super sweet. You are really going to pick up that corn. There is a dry oak. Yeah, definitely a dry oak. It's almost like a candy, like a brown sugar. Getting light rye. So I am picking up some of that rye, vanilla, some cinnamon. So you are getting some of that heat on the back end of it. There's a sweet vanilla taste to it, almost like a creme brulee. If you like creme brulee, this is for you. It's very sophisticated. Third time's, wow. It's good. It has got a heat and a spice that is definitely there. And the heat does linger a little bit. Like there's some tap dancing going on my lips. I can feel the tingle. Like a nuttiness. There's like a sweet caramel honey, thing going on. And it's almost like when you go to sports games and they're roasting those honey almonds and stuff like that. That's kind of what's going on right now. This is really good, but it's very potent. I'm not gonna lie. I want to stress the fact that this is all of 122 proof. There is no mistaking that. This is a slow sipper, one that you want to chill with the guys, or maybe there's some women, that like a good high proof whiskey bourbon. Cigar smokers, all of that. This is going to be right up your alley. Now my fourth sip was a little baby sip to just kind of let it sit there and coat and linger and hang out. And it's all of those flavors and more. You get a little bit something different each and every time. So while we let this kind of calm down, this is those wintry nights in the Midwest, you know, this is going to warm you up like a fire. Very nice. So let's talk Bardstown. And Bardstown Bourbon sits on 100 acres outside of Bardstown. And Bardstown is considered the bourbon capital of America. Okay, so when I say that, the bourbon capital, Louisville actually has a bone to pick with them. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in the Teak Life Truth at the end of this video. So what the Bardstown Bourbon Company wanted to do is create sort of a Napa Valley experience in Kentucky, you know, with their distillery. So they have state-of-the-art facilities, a resting, aging warehouse, a restaurant. They have bars. They have all these different things. Alrighty, this is the part where I typically say I'm down to the down, but as you can see, I'm not. Because yes, I'm nursing this like it's a hospital. It's potent, it's really good, it's a lot of sweet heat, it is very corn heavy, and one of the things that you might find with this particular one is it's also a little pricey. So it is going to be up there. This is not something that is going to be your everyday sipper. This is going to be for special occasions only, or for the whiskey bourbon connoisseur. That being said, it's a very solid choice. I really do like it. This is something that I just gotta chill and sip with, maybe add an ice cube to tone it down. But other than that, this is a fantastic addition to your home bar. Alright, so that wraps up another tasting episode of Something New here in the Teak Life Basement Bar. Bardstown Bourbon, they're killing it. They're doing some crazy, incredible things. And those mergings with some other brands, I gotta get my hands on it. Make sure to subscribe to the Teak Life YouTube channel. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss any further episodes. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if there's something that you believe needs to be in this Glencairn tasting glass, hit that email. Let us know. Comment, share, do all that. We'll see you in a moment on the Teak Life Truth. You're going to love it. Welcome to another Teak Life Truth. And since we just tried another delectable, delightful expression from Bardstown Bourbon Company, let's talk Bardstown, Kentucky. So Bardstown is very, very rich in whiskey bourbon history. You probably didn't know this, but Bardstown is the second oldest city in Kentucky. Bardstown, Kentucky is home to the very well-known Talbot Tavern. And that tavern was built in 1779. There's been some famous people that have strolled through the doors of that tavern. Daniel Boone, Abraham Lincoln. And it's rumored that there are some bullet holes in an upstairs wall that came from a gun fired by Jesse James. So to the whiskey bourbon community, Bardstown is very well known. And there's several distilleries that operate in that region. We're talking Jim Beam, Heaven Hill, 1792, Lux Row, Maker's Mark, and of course, Bardstown Bourbon Company. Bardstown also has a public museum, the Oscar Getz Museum of Whiskey, and it showcases a lot of that local history, which includes whiskey bourbon making. Now, like every good small town story, there happens to be some drama and controversy. Okay, not really, but back in 2013, the mayor of Louisville, Kentucky, he kind of stirred some shit up, and he said that Louisville, Kentucky is the bourbon capital of the world. This might have made some people in the Bardstown area a little pissed off. No, actually they kept their cool. They kind of did one of those Jay-Z moves and cleaned the dirt off their shoulder and said, ha ha ha, that's pretty funny. Anyway, if you've been to Louisville, if you've been to Bardstown, in that region, let me know what you think is the bourbon whiskey capital of the world in those comments. Let me know. So there we go. It's another Teak Life Truth. And life is too short to drink bad liquor. Choose wisely, my friends. See you on the next episode.